Hello, my name is Sonali and I welcome you to the Sunday special episode of Around the World in 7 Days. John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of America, once said, "Geography has made us neighbors, history made us friends, economy has made us partners, and necessity has made us allies." This is absolutely true in international relations. If we apply this to the Indo-Pacific region, we find that China is strengthening its economic ties with New Zealand. Expanding its economic ties, China has made another important member of the Western camp its partner. The closeness of the two countries can be understood from the fact that New Zealand is with China despite being a member of Five Eyes, an espionage organization of the Western camp. In this sequence, New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins recently went on a visit to China. During this, he supported China's claim in CPTPP, that is Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, and DEPA, that is Digital Economy Partnership Agreement. At a time when New Zealand's neighbor Australia is at loggerhead with China due its growing influence in the Indo-Pacific region, then New Zealand's support to China becomes especially important. In such a situation, it becomes necessary to know what this agreement is all about. Can China become part of these groups with the support of New Zealand? Another important question is that what will be its impact on the Indo-Pacific? Let's understand. Basically, CPTPP is a free trade agreement between Australia, Brunei, Canada, Chile, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, Peru, New Zealand, Singapore, and Vietnam. It was signed on 8th March 2018 in Santiago, Chile. The United Kingdom also applied for membership in June 2021. This year, it may also sign the agreement, whereas China applied to join CPTPP in September 2021 and DEPA in November 2021. CPTPP membership requires ratification by all member states. In such a situation, despite getting support from New Zealand, China may not be able to join the group because countries like Australia, Japan, and Canada may block its entry. Australia did not endorse China's entry into the group when Australia's Trade Minister Don Farrell visited Beijing in May. The Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership includes ASEAN countries as well as Japan, New Zealand, Australia, and China. In such a situation, the possibility cannot be denied that despite the dispute on the strategic front, these countries can come together on the economic front. DEPA, on the other hand, supports free trade in digital or e-commerce sectors. This includes Chile, New Zealand, and Singapore. By joining this, China wants to strengthen its hold in the digital economy. However, one potential problem for entry is China's data and cybersecurity regime. This system of China protects its domestic internet from outside influences. But after the support of New Zealand, it seems easy for China to join this bloc. Let us tell you that China is New Zealand's largest trading partner. The Comprehensive Strategic Partnership between the two countries was signed in 2014. Next year is going to be the 10th anniversary of this relationship. In some way, New Zealand is a big ally of China despite being a supporter of the Western camp. Although New Zealand has repeatedly supported the One China policy, but on many issues like Hong Kong and Taiwan, it sides with the Western countries. At the same time, New Zealand has also issued several statements against China on issues of human rights and foreign policy. On the other hand, Australia's relations with China are not cordial. While Australia is not only New Zealand's second largest trading partner, but also its closest neighbor. Australia is also part of organizations such as AUKUS and Quad, which are considered anti-China. At the same time, both New Zealand and Australia are members of organizations like the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework and Five Eyes. Both these are considered important organizations of the Western camp. Five Eyes is a treaty for joint cooperation in signals intelligence. This includes Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Any of these countries going over to China's side is certainly not good news for the Western camp. In such a situation, New Zealand's increasing economic closeness with China can become a new headache for the Western camp. If we talk about India, then it is not a good sign for India as well, because New Zealand is also a close ally of India. The free trade agreement between the two countries is an indicator of the depth of this relationship. Free Indo-Pacific is also neat for India. India's voice may be weakened if its allies go to China's side. Overall, both the Western camp and India will have to emphasize on strengthening their relationship with New Zealand. Now it is the turn of this program's Sunday special episode, in which we will talk about other important international news. Recently, US President Joe Biden strongly supported Sweden's membership of NATO. The Biden administration is of the view that Sweden is a strong and capable defense partner, which will strengthen the alliance and contribute to the European security. Sweden and neighboring Finland began seeking NATO membership last year following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Finland was granted NATO membership in April. According to NATO's rule, the consent of all its members is necessary for a country to be included in the alliance, and Turkey is not in favor of including Sweden in the alliance. In fact, Turkey has accused Sweden of harboring members of the Kurdistan Workers' Party or PKK. Turkey considers it as a terrorist group. Apart from this, a copy of the Quran was burnt in the movement being carried out by the right wing in Sweden, on which the Swedish government did not take any action. Because of this also, Turkey is opposing Sweden's entry in NATO. Recently, China cancelled the visit of a high-ranking diplomat of European Union to China. Let us tell you that Joseph Borrell, representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, was scheduled to visit China on July 10 to hold talks with Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang and other officials. They were expected to hold talks on trade, human rights, and China's stand on the Ukraine crisis, among other issues. China has not yet clarified the reason for this, but the summit held last week among the member states of the European Union is believed to be the reason for this. Actually, a few days ago, a summit was held among the countries of the European Union, in which it was agreed among all the countries that dependence on China for imports should be reduced and other countries should be explored as an alternative. Apart from this, the European Union is also dissatisfied with China's attitude towards Russia. In particular, Borrell has been critical of China's approach to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. China says it is neutral in the conflict but has held frequent state visits and joint military exercises with Russia, which Western countries are projecting as a support for Russia. Recently, the 23rd summit of SCO, that is Shanghai Cooperation Organization, was organized under the chairmanship of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi presided over the event. Significantly, this program was organized virtually. The theme of this summit was Secure SCO. Belarus and Mongolia were invited as observers in this summit. As per the SCO tradition, Turkmenistan was invited as the guest chair. The summit welcomed Iran as a permanent member of the organization. In this summit, discussions were held on increasing mutual security and economic cooperation, fighting terrorism and drug trafficking, and tackling issues like climate change. The SCO was established at a summit in Shanghai in 2001 by the presidents of Russia, China, the Kyrgyz Republic, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. India and Pakistan became members of this organization in the year 2017. America and European countries have been opposing Russia since the Russia-Ukraine war. That's why the summit was more important than ever for Russia, which has repeatedly shown that the Western world has failed to isolate it. So that's all for today. See you in the next episode. But before leaving, let's note down a question based on today's story. New Zealand's increasing closeness with China is not a good sign for India as well as the Western countries. Discuss.